This is Derek of Suffocation. You're listening to the FANTASM Podcast.
Phantasm.
Maximum terror.
That's your target audience, baby!
Phantasm.
And you know something? I sort of enjoyed it.
Phantasm.
Sell the metal! Sell the metal! Sell the metal! Sell the metal!
Phantasm.
Hey, this is Dr. Vincent West, medical doctor, with the Phantasm Podcast. My favorite death metal band is Suffocation. We have Derek with us today from Suffocation, the bassist. He is an awesome guy, and thank you so much. You guys are on an amazing tour package right now. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about your live release that came out last year from Nuclear Blast. But yeah, let's, dude, thank you so much for doing this. You guys are on tour. You're in Texas, I think.
Yeah, my pleasure. Yeah, last night, well, let's see, we just kicked it off. You know, the first show was in Brooklyn, and then we did the Maryland Death Fest, like the closer. You know, the last one there, they've been doing that for years. And
right.
We just closed it out really strong, super good performance, fun. And then last night was up in Rochester, and today's Chicago.
Oh, Chicago. Okay, awesome.
Yeah, so we're getting it going. We're just getting our bearings and getting this thing going, but it's a beast. It's going to be sick.
Dude, so let's talk about, and I just mentioned this to you before we started here. I wanted to talk to you. First of all, the Farewell to Frank thing was amazing. You guys really just blew it off the planet when you guys did that for Frank. And
it was just a fun idea because, you know, we like to catch our recordings. We're musicians, but we're also like engineers and stuff like that. So we do all the Pro Tools stuff and capture live audio and stuff. So we always try to capture our live audio, just kind of critique ourselves and see, oh, wow, that show was really hot and we got it. That's fun. And it was one of those things where Frank was doing his farewell and we had all the recording stuff with us and just happened to capture the files and send them out to be mixed. And it worked out great. It was a great sign off for Frank. And, you know, anything that, you know, he said, hey, I'm going to step down, guys. And, you know, of course, we're sad to see him go. But at the end of the day, we honor his decisions. And, he gave Ricky a standing ovation, you know, direct endorsement. So we're just moving forward. You know, it's all about all you can do. But we're stoked on that too. Yeah.
So talk about that now. The live record that came out last year with Nuclear Blast, was that one show or is that a bunch of different cuts from different shows?
That happens to be just a one show. You know, like we recorded, I think, pretty much the entire tour. And that just, we were talking about, you know, going, okay, take this one from this show and this one from this show. And just so inside the liner notes, we could promote the entire tour. But at the end of the day, that one particular show just jumped out at us. Like, I mean, the other ones are good. And, you know, we always have fun performing them. But listening back, you go, well, that microphone fell off the snare drum. So even though we played great, that's fucked up.
Sure.
And, you know, that, you know, so there'll be a technical problem. Or they'll be like, somebody didn't have a great night or something, like everyone else is like, it was awesome. And the other guy, you know, is like, that sucked. So one of those days was the Cambridge show that just everything hit, nothing technically went wrong. And it was just one of those really good ones. We had a few that we had to choose from, but that one for some reason jumped out at us and we ran with it.
Oh yeah, well, it's a great recording.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's awesome, as with all your old stuff. I guess, you know, and doing a set list at this point, I bet is probably difficult as well.
It really is because the repertoire, the discography, you know, we have a ton of material, you know, from over 10 releases. And it's really hard, you know, because like you start to put a song or two in and then you go, man, but we got to pull out what? Holy shit, man. You're only, unless you're playing a 2.5 hour set, you know, it's going to be hard to really change it without letting go some of the ones that you kind of have to play. You know, you're going to go see, you know, Guns N' Roses and they're not going to play Sweet Child of Mine. I mean, whatever the hell the example is, you know, like certain songs kind of need to be in the set. You're going to play Pierced From Within, you know, you're going to play, you know, Infecting the Cribs, you know, and there's a really strong handful of them that it's like, as we add songs, it's hard to pull the old songs out. You know, like, man, we really want to play Breeding the Spawn, man, we really want to play Bind, Torture, Kill. What about Catatonic? It's the first song the band wrote, you know, so it's really hard to write a set list without, you know, pulling too many, but you want to introduce older songs or something brand new. So it's tricky. Yeah, it's definitely hard.
Now, for the tour package, you guys have got a great lineup out with you. Can you talk about how that came to be, like the bands you guys have for the Usurpation?
This was kind of, I don't want to say it fell in our lap, but it kind of fell in our lap. We had done stuff with Atheist down in South America, so we knew we liked each other as people, musicians, bands, friends. So we're like, hey, anytime we run into people that we're compatible with and the shows work, we always say to each other, hey, let's do this again.
Sure.
Let's go somewhere else. Let's do this somewhere, some other territory. So with Atheist, having done South America with them, we knew we were compatible, and then we also knew that we use a lot of the same companies. Like our management company happens to be the same. So these are easy bridges to cross, opposed to, man, we want to tour with this band, but they got this management, they're exclusive with this booking agent, blah, blah, blah. You get in all the politics stuff that really sucks. The more you learn, the less you like. So it's one of those things that this was a no-brainer. Atheist and Suffo had been buddies for eternity, and Atheist Suffo came back recently, long time ago, and then Atheist came back, and then it was like, hey, let's go do some other territories. And like I said, we're on the same management company, so it's very easy.
Sure.
That absolutely follows down the line. Surruption is also with our management company. This is Extreme Management Group that I'm speaking of, and Surruption and Contrarian. So this is Forces of Hostility is an Extreme Management Group tour.
Oh, awesome.
So it's very easy to put together.
It's a great tour package.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. As far as is it difficult as far as like, so the set, I'm assuming the set you did at Maryland, is it different than the set people will be seeing on the Forces of Hostility? Did you mix that up a little bit special for that?
The Maryland set was basically a stripped down version of what this was because they limited us. If we're headlining a show, we can say we get 70 minutes. If we're really feeling it, the crowd's feeling it, we'll play 80 minutes. But when it comes to those festivals, they're like, here's your slot. And so I think they gave us like 45 or 50 minutes. So we had to kind of streamline it and go, okay, we got to play this, we got to play that. And, we're pulling what? Oh, fuck.
Right.
So, we had a stripped down show for Maryland, but it was great, man. That place flipped out. It was awesome. Huge crowd. It was really terrible the way the weather was. We pulled in and it was like tornado warnings on all our phones. The sky opened up and it just dumped fucking tons of water, literally tons of water on everybody. And then they were moving the show to the indoor facility. Then the weather let up and we literally lucked out. Like the weather was perfect for our set. And then the second we were done was supposed to be Obituary and Carcass out on the outdoor main stages. And they got moved indoor because there was another massive rainstorm that flushed everything out. It really sucked. I mean, we wanted to see Obituary and Carcass on our same platform, and it just didn't work out. They had to get moved to an indoor venue.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I've never been. I used to go to Milwaukee back in the day, but
Hell yeah. Eagles Ballroom.
Yeah, man. Yeah, but Maryland, the whole outdoor thing, I guess it's tricky with weather stuff, so that's... but I'm glad that worked out for you guys. That's good that happened. But as far as the tour, you're hitting a whole bunch of cities. You're going all over the place. You even come down south, like where I live. So
yeah, we're doing good. I'm gonna grab my pass. I'm on the tour bus. And the bus driver just stopped, so this gives me 2 seconds to grab my pass, and then this will be a fun. There it is. I can just rattle them off real quick. So it's basically 30 cities in 30 days, and someone keeps correcting me and saying that there's one travel day in there. So it was like I'm sorry. It was, yeah. Everyone's like, get out of here. I'm trying to tell them to be quiet. So, yeah, it was Brooklyn, Baltimore, Rochester, tonight Chicago, Madison, Wisconsin, Lawrence, Kansas, Denver, Colorado, San Francisco, Los Angeles, San Diego, Pomona, California, Mesa, Arizona, Albuquerque, New Mexico, El Paso, Texas, Austin, Texas, Dallas, Texas, Houston, Texas, New Orleans, Tampa, Florida, Jacksonville, Jonesboro, and Georgia, Spartanburg, South Carolina, Louisville, Kentucky, Detroit, Michigan, Toronto, Ottawa, Montreal, Quebec, and then we end up in Boston and Clifton, New Jersey to wrap it up.
That is awesome, man. It's so cool.
It's a good one.
Yeah, that's a great, and you're all over the place. You guys are literally traveling all over for the tour, which is awesome. Yeah. New Suffocation. Are you guys working on some stuff? What can you tell us? What little can you tell us, and what without getting in trap? And what can you say about that?
Yeah, not really going to be announcing any title yet. They're kind of doing the anticipation thing. So
Sure.
when we hand it in, they will make the announcements and stuff. But as of right now, I mean, it's really sick. It's super aggressive. There's obviously your Suffo slam and technical, thought out material written by Suffocation. Like, we're not going to leave that stuff behind. But there's a little something new. But it's not like so far off the beaten path. People are going to be like, "What? You guys put a saxophone player in?" No, none of that shit. Clean vocals, fuck that. None of that. So it's traditional Suffo, but it's got something unique to it that's new. That's really we're stoked on. And it's about 3/4 of the way done. So we have a little bit to do when we come off this tour, and then we'll try to bang out the tracking, and then look into getting it mixed, mastered, blah blah blah, getting it really polished up and ready for release.
Are y'all going to work with Zeus again?
You know what? Zeus is a dear friend of ours, great engineer. We don't know anything right now. We're kind of in a preliminary stage where the label's like suggesting, hey, what about Scott Burns, early Suffocation producer? What about this? What about that? So we're entertaining.
Dude, if y'all
ideas.
dig Burns out of the closet, I'll shit. It's fucking...
Yeah, no, they did. And I feel like Atheist just used him.
Oh my God.
In an old-ass interview, when he was pulling out, of the industry, he was like, "I will come out of retirement for Deicide or Suffocation." I remember reading that somewhere. And I was like, wow, that'd be sick. And that's 25 fucking years ago
Sure.
or something I'm talking about now. But so we don't know exactly who will produce it, but we do know that we're tracking it ourselves. We've gotten to that, like I was saying earlier, we're musicians, but we're also engineers, and again, we're not professional producers, but we do have enough wherewithal to know what not to do and to get the right equipment. Terrence does tons of research on, this is how you place this microphone,
Sure.
and he's been doing this forever too. So this is how you record a tom, this is how you record a snare, blah, blah, blah. So with all that homework, we've been doing pre-production recordings this time. And we're like, wow, if somebody legit mixed this and mastered this would fucking smack.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's really about, okay, is the song good, yes or no? Is the performance good, yes or no? And is the production good, yes or no? I think if you hit on 2 out of 3 of those, hopefully going for all 3, it's going to work. You know what I mean? So
Oh, sure.
it's going to be great. It's a 2023 release, Nuclear Blast. Can't announce the title yet, but it's going to be sick, man. We're happy with it.
Oh, it's so exciting. To throw a name into your hat that I always wanted to see you guys work with would be Rutan.
Oh, I fucking love Eric. Love him as a person.
Oh, yeah.
He's a fantastic engineer. And
I don't know what his schedule is now with him being in Cannibal or whatever, but that would be...
I think he's super busy, but I think that's kind of where you want to be. Also, you'd rather be busy, I think.
Oh, sure, absolutely.
But he's fantastic. We love Rutan.
Oh, yeah, he's great. What after this tour, do you have anything in Europe? Are y'all hitting any of the festivals? Are you doing...
Yep. After this, we have Europe summer festival season and spot shows between the weekend festivals. So we'll be over in Europe. We also have South America booked. Mexico's booked. There's a lot going on. I think before, or I don't know if the pandemic was like trying to lighten up, and then it went back into like some kind of lockdown. But
Sure.
They had Australia also completely worked out. So I mean, as soon as the world opened up and said, hey, get back out there, we've got, North America, South America, Mexico, Europe, and Australia all ready to go to just continue to wrap up, Of the Dark Light and this promote the live album. And then as soon as throughout all that, we should have everything written and then get everything recorded. So it's tricky, juggling your album cycle and your touring cycle. You're so busy trying to write new material, and then they're like, oh, go do these tours. And you're like, oh, hell yeah.
Right.
So you run out and you do all those tours, and then it also kind of holds you back a little from the writing process. And then, it's one of those things when you're out, you want to be home. When you're home, you want to be out. It's kind of that Murphy's Law thing. But
Sure.
Everything's going to work out just the way it needs to.
That's fabulous, man. And I was going to ask you, too, as far as, like, the summer festival stuff, do you like doing the one-off big festival stuff over there? I mean, obviously you do. You're a musician. You want to play, but is that challenging? Is that different doing that as opposed to playing like just shows every night in the States?
Right. What's really interesting about those big shows was, when we first started doing them, we were all looking at each other like, holy shit, this is not our wheelhouse. And then having done so many of them, we've actually learned to love them. And it's funny because I always would still say I like the intimate show with a ton of tight energy. And those huge outdoor shows, there's energy, but it kind of dissipated because it's just, you're outside.
Sure.
You know, when you're focused inside, it's like, it seems very intimate, blah, blah, blah. And it's bizarre because, like I said, at first I wasn't the biggest fan. We play a fast, technical style of music. If you're just playing some slow stuff, outdoor would be a walk in the park. You know, if you don't get your stage sounding right, these stages are fucking huge. If you don't get your stage right, you're going 200 some BPM and you can't hear nothing. Outdoor is going to be fucked. For everybody, engineers and players and fans. But we've somehow learned to, you know, walk before you run. When you're playing these big boys, you know, you come out slamming nice and slow in the pocket. Everybody, the engineer gets to find himself, the people on stage gets to find their sweet spots. And interestingly enough, we turned around and we were like, wow, we're killing it on these big stages, and we're able to syncopate and play fast and technical and tight on these big atmospheres. You know, where in the beginning we were like, holy shit, this is not, you know, a tight venue. So it's great though. By now we're dialed in for it.
That's awesome. And then back to the live record. Is that, like, when you're listening to it, is that just straight up the show, or did you guys have to omit some stuff?
Sorry, I missed the very beginning of that.
Oh, I was just going to say on the live album.
Yeah.
Is that just like straight up? Did you guys just take that whole show and put it on that album, or did y'all have to like take some tracks out or move stuff around?
That's literally the entire show, and I do think, to be honest, we trimmed the fat. Frank sometimes will go on these rants, and I do think we trimmed some of the chaos that he would get into. I mean, he'll rant on the most bizarre shit. We left as much shit in there as we could to make it be Frank, but we didn't want the, like, ridiculous shit that sometimes comes out of his... And, I mean, it's funny because Monty Connor, who was with Roadrunner and is now with Nuclear Blast, we used to have this running gag, he and I, that we were like, we've got to build a Frank comedy CD with all the nonsense he says between songs, which is beyond nonsense. It's fucking amazing. Some of the shit that falls out of Frank Mullen's mouth between songs is incredibly funny. And so Monty and I used to always joke and say, hey man, we really got to take all these live footage that we have years, we have decades of live audio, that if we just went, instead of listening to the music and saying, oh, a microphone fell or so-and-so didn't like that show, just to go and look for Frank talking funny shit and put that on an album. We've been talking about it for years, and it actually probably needs to happen.
Oh, it would be, you know? Yeah, it would be so. Yeah, he's very entertaining live. It's
hilarious. Frank's comedy. I mean, not only are his views so obscure and humorous, but he just has a delivery that is incredible. You know, the way that he talks. He's a jerky boy. He's great.
Yeah, it's great. It's so much fun. And then just to kind of wrap this up, I was going to ask you, as far as the European stuff, when you guys, do you all just get mixed up with, and I don't mean it like the festival stuff, but like on the one-off stuff, like you were talking about doing stuff in between, you know, the shows? Yeah. Is that just you guys headlining? Do they put local bands with you, or do you guys already have like support for that stuff?
You know, we've had a ton of good luck with that, being that we kind of know everybody in the industry. Like, you know, we've crossed paths with, you know, Dying Fetus and, you know, just millions of other bands over the years that happen to be doing the same thing as us. They're there for the summer festivals. They got spot shows during the week, so we'll sometimes team up and, you know, do the little one-off shows with other, you know, real acts. And not to say that the local guys aren't real. They're all working just as hard as everyone else.
Sure.
So, but sometimes it's locals and Suffo headlining, and sometimes we get lucky. We get to mix it up. You know, they're over there at the same time. They got the Deadhead days the same as us. Hey, let's jump together. And it doesn't work as often as you'd like, but we have seen that happen. So I'm not sure what's going to go down this summer, but we know we got the summer festivals on the weekends and the spot shows during the week. So it should be good, though.
If you've got that list, we can run that off, too. We've got a lot of people that listen to us in Europe, so if you've got those, you know.
The what?
Any of the European dates, if you want to run them off, you can't. I don't know.
Not off the top of my head.
Okay.
I'm terrible about that.
I didn't know if you did, because you're totally welcome to promote that if you want to, because that's totally cool.
I mean, for me, I don't know if they have a title for that one, because it's usually like Suffocation Summer Festivals, Europe, blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
This one, I was only able to rattle that off because I have a tour pass.
Oh, right. Gotcha.
Yeah, there's no way I would know.
Hey, go to your Facebook page, your all's website. They can find all that good stuff there.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure if you do the social medias and, you know, just do a Suffocation Google search, it will have all the, you know, we're playing Brutal Assault, or we're playing Summer Breeze, or we're playing Party Santa. You know, whichever the events are this year, they'll all be announced on our social medias. And
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I guess with the pandemic thing, I'm sure it's got to be great to get back out and start doing this again, because
Holy shit, man. Yeah, I was Nosferatu, like in a coffin laying there for like 18 hours a day, just like, can we go back out and do what we do yet?
Right.
And, we were just afraid that, it's just never going to let back up, and we were just going to be like, oh my God, what do we do? This is what we've been doing for so long. It's what we enjoy. It's
Sure.
how we make a living. And all of a sudden they're like, sorry, you can't do it. And we're like, excuse me? Well, the world's falling to shit. Well, okay, yeah, we get that. Can we please go back out? And then, eventually the thing lightened up, and here we are back out doing what we love, and it's so satisfying. Now time.
Yeah, man, it's so great to have you guys back out touring, and you guys are going to be playing everywhere, so if you guys are listening, go see them. They're out all over the U.S., and they're going to be in Europe and South America and everywhere. You find Suffocation, you guys will be there somewhere playing. It's awesome.
Hell yeah.
And then one last thing I wanted to ask you, to go back to the live release. As far as like production, did you all produce that, or did y'all have someone come in and mix that for you all? Or
that was something that we when we capture multi-track. So it's not like the last live album was a stereo feed, and we just grabbed something we thought was fun and threw it out there. And this one was a little bit more articulate in the sense that we took the individual tracks, just like recording an album.
Sure.
Where you go in and record the drum set. Well, it's got a microphone on this, a microphone on that. These are all individual multi-track recording. So after the fact, you can go back and put a little tweak on it, do a little frequency adjusting, put some compression on it, put some reverb on this, put some delay on that. So in the beginning, when we heard all the performances, we had flown them into our Pro Tools, and we had a loose, rough mix, and we heard, wow, this performance is good. Everybody played really good. It sounded good. The crowd was fun. Frank was funny. Everything about it, everybody sounded good. It was the one. And we had a really rough mix on it, and we sent it off to the label management. We said, hey, we think this is really good. They all agreed and said, okay, who's gonna mix and master it? So we kind of bat the idea around for a minute, and a good friend of ours, Chris Donaldson, is Cryptopsy's guitar player, and has a fantastic studio up in Canada.
He does indeed.
We sent him a test mix. We sent him out a file, a folder that had all the audio files in it. He sent us back a test mix, and we're like, "You're the guy. You're very eager. You've got the right gear. You've got the right ear. You've got the facility." And he was just great. I think he jumped through a bunch of hoops for us. Like, he'd send back something that we'd be like, "Wow, this is great." And then somebody would go, "Oh man, turn that up." And so I'd have to send him a message and be like, "Hey man, we love it. Can you turn that up?" And he'd send it back, and we'd go, "Oh, this is awesome." And someone else would be like, "Turn that down." And it was really funny. We went back and forth, and I said to Donaldson, "I'm really sorry. You probably nailed it on your first one, and we're just being nitpicky here. And we're really asking for tiny adjustments. We're not saying that you're far off." And he goes, "I will do this 1,000 times. I will send you 1,000 different versions until you are happy." And we were like, I felt I was bugging him, because I feel like we asked for a small handful of revisions, and he was already nailing it. So some producers, you probably go, "Hey man, I want this," and they're probably like, "No, this is the way it's supposed to be," and you're going, "Okay." But with him, he said he would literally go to the ends of the earth to make sure we were happy with the final, and we absolutely were. It was great. But yeah, Chris Donaldson, and I need to look up the name of his studio too. I should know the name of his facility.
I should too. I should absolutely know that as well. And
yeah, Chris Donaldson, and he's up in Canada, and he's Cryptopsy's guitar player for a long time. He's an awesome guy, great guy.
Yes, he's very talented, very talented. He did a great job. The live record sounds amazing.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much.
No, thank you. And the tour is out there, and you guys are touring and everything, and it's so exciting. And I can't thank you enough for taking the time to do this today. It's so good.
Awesome.
Phantasm.
And you know something? I sort of enjoyed it.
Phantasm.